Right now, we're going to be segueing into the complicated and just what is it of earned media and what we do in the digital world. We have Pete Farrell with us. Pete, let us know a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and what you do.
Wow. Where I come from, that's an interesting origin story. I grew up in Massachusetts, was schooled in fine arts with a focus on design. After school, I joined what was known as the Tech Belt at that point, which is the 128 belt inside of Boston, where you literally had everything you designed for had some level of spark in that interactive space, whether that was in like CD-ROMs and interactive CD-ROMs, or the fledgling days of the internet, where we were creating very basic environments for clients who wanted to be cutting edge or had to be cutting edge. And then the last place before coming to Ackerman McQueen, Oklahoma City, was a brand and product development shop. So I was able to kind of continually build off of what was originally a fine arts background into something of a kind of jack of all trades. I came to Oklahoma City in 2005 and joined Ackerman McQueen. In the last 13 years, we've built a pretty strong experience competency here. And a lot of that was based off of not only the client needs, but Angus's vision for putting video on the internet in a way that would be meaningful for an audience.
So we have the backside of it, which is developing the creative. Where is that bridge? Where is that place where it goes from being this creative flavor of things into actually getting to somebody?
The important thing is the strategy up front and the research up front. All of the things that drive the creative process also drive the experience process. So it's an understanding of who the audience is and what their needs are. It's also clearly understanding from an operational standpoint, how would you maintain something like this? Because any owned media property, you don't just turn it on and turn it off. It has to live for a while. It has to be fed by content. It has to constantly satisfy that audience need. Owned media is anything that a brand maintains itself. And it's a place where it could be a website, could be a blog, could be an application, a platform, it could be OTT channels. But it's a place that the brand controls the narrative and the brand controls the experience. Ultimately, the brand owns the audience. So that's what the idea of owned media. It's really owned audience. The more that I can get people coming to me for this content that I'm creating for you, or this experience that I'm creating for you, the more loyalty that produces, and the more kind of evangelists that produces for you. There are a slew of different variables that go into determining what that owned media platform is going to be. It has a lot to do with, again, what are the requirements from the audience standpoint? Because at the end of the day, you can have a fantastic desktop experience, but you need to make sure that if a lot of your audience is coming in from a mobile device, you've optimized it so that they can get to the information that they want as quickly as possible in that environment. Everybody in this room interacts with video on their phone, on a smart TV or OTT device, or on a desktop. Everybody here is a user. Everybody here has their own loyalty to the brands that they love. And if you think about all the great things that you get from that relationship, that's what we do every day.
So we like to do all of this. How do you convince a client who is not very technically savvy understand what it is that we need for them to do?
What I have found is that the technology discussions are easy discussions to have overall, because the content vision and the idea and the excitement around that has already been established. The user shouldn't know about the technology, so they just interact with whatever the experience is. They shouldn't be overthinking that at all. That shouldn't get in the way of the message.
I'm going to open this up.
Vertical versus horizontal. Is there going to be a plan in the future for us to shoot a lot of stuff vertical for that said phone format? Because it seems like that's where the world is going.
That is a really good question. And I think that what that really comes down to is how is it that you're trying to reach your audience? And if there's enough need for it, then we'll figure out the way that we automate some of those processes to take that operational weight off of the production group. And I think that the real question is this a format that we see a long-term viability in? And if we do, then we're going to invest in it.
What do you see on the horizon? What do you think is going to be a really cool aspect of what it is we do?
Well, I think there's going to be I personally think there's going to be a much thinner line between how people interact with brands online and in physical spaces. I think that's going to be, that's going to really cause some challenges for brands that haven't figured out how to deliver the promise they're making in one media and another in a physical space. It's an interesting kind of
Do you think that'll be defined within walls? Do you think there will ever be a moment where it's almost holographic, where they actually feel you, know you? They're going to have something come up next to you that only you can see, no one else can see.
Yes.
They will.
Yes. Yeah. There are holographic technologies today that hospitals are using or doctors are using to actually treat patients from a distance, from a telemedicine standpoint.
Well, thank you, Pete. That's been very informative and very interesting.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.